This is today's first world problem that we're gonna fix. To do this project, I'm gonna need two things. I'm gonna need a Zigbee proximity sensor switch, and I'm also going to need a Zigbee switch to actually control when that sensor opens and closes. So to start out with, I'm going to mount this on the door, and then we'll put the switch in and we'll automate the whole thing up.
What? Batteries are included? Now it did come with the self-adhesive labels, or the stickers for the back, so got the one side stuck on, and I'll do the same with this little guy, and putting them up should be no big deal.
Now before I lock myself in the pantry and put these things up, I'm just going to dry fit these things to make sure that I've kind of got them in the right spot. Alright, I'm going to pop the batteries in this unit here, and we'll pair it up with the hub. Pairing the sensor with a hub is super easy. Just click on devices, and then on the top right, click add a device, and then click on Zigbee and start Zigbee pairing. You'll want to make sure that your device is in the actual location that it's going to be when you do the pairing, and that's going to help build your Zigbee mesh the correct way. Now, as you can see, this device was already previously discovered. My apologies for that. I forgot to hit the screen recording and capture the actual recording. So I deleted the device, added it again, but now it's showing up as a previously connected device. Process is the same anyway, so once you've got that device recognized, just name it whatever you want, and we can continue on to the next step. And as you can see by the test there that I just did, it's got a pretty good gap, 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch that it's detecting no problem, so I don't think I'll have any issue. So I'm going to go ahead and stick it on. So the reason I decided to pair this sensor first is kind of how it mounts on the door here. I'll show it to you in a second. It's not exactly head on, it's kind of at a right angle, so I wanted to make sure that it works to detect the opening and closing. Alright, so the proxy sensor's in place, nothing left to do but get this thing hooked up and wired up, and then we'll put together the automation and the rule that's going to do that for us, or automate that light switch for us. Alright, as you can see from that previous display of how I shut off breakers, don't try that at home. And I'm going to fire up the, or put the power back on here and make sure I've wired this thing up correctly, because the wiring was a little bit different for that switch. It did need a common wire, and it also needed a ground wire. So let's turn on the breaker and kind of see what it looks like. Alright, the switch portion works. Let's see if it pairs up with the habitat, and if it does, we're going to build that automation to turn that light switch on and off as that door opens and closes. Now that our switch is wired in, we're going to just need to add that device into our habitat as well. So to do that, again, we're going to click on the Devices tab, then top right there, add a device, click on Zigbee, and start Zigbee pairing. As soon as your switch is detected, you can just go ahead and name that whatever you want it to be, and click on save and add it to a room if you want as well. Alright, so with both devices added, we're going to go ahead and build some automation for this puppy. To begin, we're going to click on apps, then we're going to go to our rule machine, and we're going to create a new rule. We're going to call this Pantry Lights. Very original, I know. Click on done. Trigger is going to be, now I'm not sure where this switch shows up, so let's see if we can find it here quickly. Maybe contact? Hey, there we go. We're gonna add our Zigbee. Oh, we're gonna have to change that name. Alright, before we do this, let's go back to our devices here. And we're gonna change this to Pantry Sensor. Pantry door sensor, even better. Save device. Alright. Back to apps. Pantry light. Alright. And contact. Pantry door sensor. Contact reports open. That'll be our trigger. Actually, we're going to have 2 triggers. Contact. One for open and one for closed. Done. Alternatively, we could probably do... Yeah, changed is even better. Let's do that. And then I'll delete the other 2. Done. And actions to run, we're going to create a new action. If it is open, that'll be 1, and contact if it's closed. Those are our conditions, and now we act a conditional action. If the pantry sensor is open, done with if then. Control switches, turn switches on, and the switch to turn on here is going to be that pantry light switch update. Done with action. And if I could build an else in there as well. I'm just going to do 2 separate ifs. So another conditional if expression. Pantry is closed. Then control switches, turn switch off, and we're going to go to that pantry switch again. Update. And done. And if. And there's our statement. Done with the actions. That should do the trick. We're going to install that rule. Update the rule. And done. And now let's go test it out and see if it works. Now for those of you asking, did the light actually turn off? Let's get in the pantry and find out. What? Looks like it works.